This is the weather forecast video for Thursday, June the 2nd, 2011. Let's take a look at the satellite image from last evening. You can see a large complex of showers and thunderstorms over the central plain states that will be moving in our direction later today with a chance of thunderstorms across the state. Here's the watch warning map. From around 1 a.m. last evening, you can see a severe thunderstorm watch over Kansas into south central Nebraska, some wind advisories over the Rockies, some flood issues over Wyoming. Everywhere east of the Mississippi River is quiet. Here's the severe weather outlook for today and tonight. A slight risk of severe weather for almost the entire state except the far east. This slight risk goes from northern Missouri through Iowa, Nebraska, most of Minnesota, South Dakota, and all of North Dakota and northeastern Montana, with another slight risk over the southeastern part of the country, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Here's the tornado outlook for today and tonight. A 5% chance of tornadoes from about Des Moines northwestward into the Dakotas and southwestern and west central Minnesota. The damaging wind outlook, a 15% outlooked area across the western 3/4 of the state, more or less the slight risk area. And here's the large hail outlook, roughly the same area with an enhanced area over the Dakotas and western Minnesota where more impressive storms will be. Here's the significant tornado parameter off the NAM. This is at 7 p.m. this evening. You can see it's maxed out or close to over South Dakota, southwest Minnesota, into central Iowa. Here's the supercell potential at this off the NAM at the same time, 7 p.m. this evening. You can see the red area from South Dakota, southwest Minnesota into central Iowa, where there could be an enhanced area for supercells. And here's the significant severe parameter from the NAM at 7 p.m. You can see that is more maxed out over the Dakotas into western Iowa, unlike the other two. Here is the WRF model from the University of Illinois off the RUC and the NAM. This is at 7 p.m. You can see the CAPE values are roughly higher over South Dakota and Nebraska. Here's the same time, 7 p.m. this evening, the CAPE values from the College of DuPage, showing that CAPE values will be in the 25 to 3,500 joules per kilogram over the western two-thirds. And this, back to the WRF model from the University of Illinois, this is the capping inversion, and it shows that the central and eastern part of the state will have very little, if any, cap, while Nebraska and Minnesota will have a strong cap. Back to the College of DuPage, here's their capping inversion, showing pretty much the central and southeastern part of the state will see a very weak, if any, cap, while Minnesota and eastern Iowa will see some stronger caps. Here's the QPF chart, precipitation over the next 5 days through Monday evening at 7 o'clock. You can see a bullseye over the state of 1.2 inches of precipitation, with most areas seeing at least a half an inch. So let's take a look at the GFS Model Run. This is at 1 p.m. today. You can see a trough over the northwestern part of the country, a ridge setting up over the deep south and into Texas, with a southwesterly flow aloft that will bring a warm front through the state. As you can see, from St. Louis through Iowa into the Dakotas, that will be the focus point of showers and thunderstorms. Some will be severe as they move northeastward. Friday, that storm is moved off to the northeast. In its wake, very warm and very sultry air, highs likely near 90 or either side of 90. Saturday, a small disturbance wants to come through. That could spark off a shower or storm, maybe a 20 to 30% chance in the afternoon. Highs likely in the upper 80s to low 90s. Sunday will be drier than Saturday. Little, if any, chance of rain. Highs likely in the upper 80s to near 90 across the state. Monday, model wants to put in a possibility of maybe a isolated shower or storm. I'd say about 20%, but not everybody will see rain. Tuesday, warm still, with highs likely in the 80s to near 90. Southwesterly winds with the new storm approaching, so it will get breezy as the day goes on. Wednesday, a low over South Dakota, but as you can see, the model shows almost nothing over the state, which could mean a capping inversion will be possible. But by Thursday, a week from today, you can see some rain looks to be developing, so that may be the next chance after today of widespread rain. We head off into Voodoo Country. Here's June the 13th. A fairly zonal flow across the country with a bit of a weak trough and a weak ridge over the country. The surface shows a low pressure over western Nebraska and what looks to be a possible mesoscale convective system, but this far out you can't denote things that small. And at the end of the forecast period on June the 17th, ridge over the southwestern part of the country with a trough over the Pacific Northwest and over New England. At the surface, you can see some scattered showers and thunderstorms around with some frontal systems in the vicinity. So June looks to be fairly active and fairly hot. Thank you for tuning in to the weather forecast video. We'll have another one tomorrow.